Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Let's Crack Real Math. My name is Viraaj, and in this video we'll be having a look at how we can find the midpoint of a straight line. So before we start, please do make sure you perform an LSS, that is like, share and subscribe, and without wasting further time, let's get started. So before I dive into examples, there is a formula that we need to take note of. So to find the midpoint of a straight line, the formula is simply x1 plus x2 all over 2, comma y1 plus y2 all over 2, where the two coordinates that will be given to you will be in the form of x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, and these two are the coordinates of that straight line. So suppose the line is something like this, and one of the points that, let's say this point is something over here and this point is here. Now visibly we would know that the midpoint will be somewhere here, but we need to find the exact coordinates, and to find the exact coordinates we use this formula. And as we know that the midpoint of a straight line will also be in coordinate form, so in the end your answer would be something like this as well. So let's have a look at the first example. Now the first example says I need to find the midpoint of the line with the coordinates 1, 2 and 9, 5. Now we know our formula. Our formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. This is our x1, this is our y1, this is our x2, this is our y2. So substituting the values into the formula, we will now have 1 plus 9 over 2, comma 2 plus 5 over 2. y1 plus 9 because x1 is 1 and x2, your second x coordinate, is 9 over here, and y2 plus 5 because your first y coordinate is 2 and your second y coordinate is 5. So doing your calculations, you can do it in your calculator or you can do it mentally. You know, this is 10 over 2, comma 7 over 2, and we know that this is 5, comma 3.5. And please make sure that it is in coordinate form. You have comma, this is your x coordinate and this is your y coordinate of the midpoint, and that is the answer to that question. The next example tells me to find the midpoint of the coordinates joining the line -5, -2 and -2, 2.5. Again, we know our formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So this is our x1, this is our x2, this is our y1, this is our y2. Again, this is the first x coordinate, this is the second x coordinate, this is the first y coordinate, and this is the second y coordinate. So putting it into a formula, we know we'll have something like -5 plus -2 over 2, comma -2 plus 2.5 over 2. We know -5 plus -2 is simply -5 minus 2, because plus and minus would end up in minus. So -5 minus 2 is -7 over 2, and this is comma -2 plus 2.5 is 0.5 over 2, and doing the calculations, you know this is -3.5, comma 0.25 in coordinate form. Make sure your answer is in coordinate form, and that is the answer to that question. On to the next example. This time the coordinates given are -6, 4 and -2, 6. I need to find the midpoint. Again, we know our formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. This is your x1, this is your x2, this is your y1, this is your y2. Putting in the formula, we know this is -6 plus -2 over 2, 4 plus 6 over 2. We know that -6 plus -2 is simply -6 minus 2, because plus and minus would give you a minus. So doing that, you know this is -8 over 2, and 4 plus 6 is just 10 over 2. And you know this is -4, 5. And that is your answer for that question as well. On to the next example. This one says -6, -6 and -1, -3. We know our formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, and we know this is your x1, this is your x2, this is your y1, this is your y2. So again, doing your math, you know this is -6 plus -1 over 2, -6 plus -3 over 2. We know that this is simply -6 minus 1, because plus and minus ends up in a minus, and this is -6 minus 3, because plus and minus ends up in a minus. So you now have -7 over 2, -9 over 2, and this is nothing but -3.5, -4.5. This is -9. And that is your answer for that question, again in coordinate form. And on to the final example for this video. It says I need to find the midpoint of -5, 11 and P, Q, and the midpoint has been given to us. They are saying that the midpoint is 2.5, -6, and we need to solve for P and Q. So this is a challenge question. So please do pause the video and have a go at this by yourself, and then resume the video to see if you are correct or not. If you are incorrect, please take note of your mistake. Now, as you can see, we have one whole coordinate, but then we have P and Q. That's what we're trying to find. And we have the midpoint over here. Let's actually look at our formula. We know our formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, and this would end up giving us the midpoint of the x coordinate, of the midpoint. We know, let's call that x3. And then we know that y1 plus y2 over 2 would give you the y coordinate of your midpoint, which let's call y3. So now let's have a look at the information that we have. We can say that this, let's actually write this x1, x2, y1, y2. We know that x1 is -5, so this is -5. We know that x3 is 2.5, because that's the resultant x coordinate for the midpoint. So we're technically just finding for x2, which is P. So working with the x coordinates first, we know this is now something like -5 plus P over 2 equals 2.5. Your x1 was -5, it came down here. Your x2 is P, and that's what we're trying to find, so this comes down over here. And 2.5 is the answer to the formula, because that's the resultant x coordinate of the midpoint, which is equal to 2.5. And now, as you know, all we have to do, you know this is over 1, just cross multiply and solve for P. So if you cross multiply, you have -5 plus P equal to 2.5 times 2, which is 5, and then P is 5 plus 5, because this -5 goes to the other end and becomes positive, and 5 plus 5 is nothing but 10. So P is 10. Now let's work with the y coordinates. Again, our y1 is 11, our y2 is q, and your answer should be minus 6. So substituting the values again, we should have something like 11 plus q over 2 equals minus 6. Now minus 6 again, because that is your final y coordinate of the midpoint. The q is your y2, and your 11 is simply the y1. Now again, we know this is over 1, so all you have to do is cross multiply and solve for q. Cross multiplying, you know you have 11 plus q equals minus 12. Minus 12 because 2 times minus 6 is minus 12. And then solving for q, you know q is minus 12 minus 11 because the 11 goes to the other side and becomes negative, and this is nothing but minus 23. And that is your final answer. And now if you want to write it properly in terms of p and q, you know in coordinate form this is simply 10 comma minus 23. And that is your final answer for that question. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do perform an LSS, that is like, share and subscribe. And also a shout out to YouTube channel Bubble Beam, some great content there. You guys should check it out. Thank you for watching. Have a nice one.